Okay, Oakleaf is making this video, probably my last video, because I've run into a little problem. I have cancer in the brain, and I wanted to get this thing started. Maybe the guys can finish it. My grandson, George Newber, is helping out. We have a 100-year-old car that was designed 100 years ago. And it's a lot of fun playing with it. I wanted to make a video that would increase the interest of young people in the Model A, because it's a very special car. It's a lot of fun, and an older person needs something to play with, and this is ideal. It not only provides that, it provides the most friendly people you'll ever run across. If you crawl under their car and help them change oil, they'll never forget, and they are truly wonderful, wonderful people. And the club has had two major clubs, one on the West Coast, Mafka they want to call it, and Mark, that's located on the East Coast. And they have been in a dilemma for quite a time, trying to figure out how we are going to get the younger people involved when we all wear out and go away. Our target today is 11 to 18. They can join the club free. Their parents can tag along. Their older brothers and sisters can tag along. And that's what we want. We're looking for their interest, and we hope that this TV and some following TVs will kind of get that interest going. Even if 4 kids show interest, I think it's worth it. And that's what we plan to do. Keep in mind that the car was designed over 100 years ago. So it's a car. You don't need to fix it, you don't need to improve it, you don't need to do anything to it. It's a complete car and designed over 100 years ago. So there's no more design needed. And we don't like it when people turn them into hot rods, although millions have been turned into hot rods. But the car is there. It just has to be played with and maintained. As you run into a problem with the Model A, you can buy a new part, but it's almost as easy to take the old part apart and fix the old part. And the Model A, once you get it running, and we've got tons of them running around the Oakleaf Club, you can jump in it, drive to Chicago. You can drive wherever you want. You can drive in the rain, the dust, the wind, and you will get there. It goes 45 miles an hour generally, but it will get you where any modern car will get you on a smaller road. And getting 15 of these things lined up, following each other, going some neat place to tour or a neat place to eat, is pure fun. And if you should have a Model A sitting in your barn, let it sit there 20 years, 30 years. When somebody in your family wants to get it running, they can get it running, and you'll have fun with it because there's clubs and you can drive together. Now, I wanted to show you what a basic car is. A car came from a wagon, naturally, drawn by a horse. And So then they figured out how to put an engine in one, and they have a set of frame and cross members to hold it together. And what they did, they took the frame and they had a place to put the engine, so they put that up front. And then they had a drive line going back here that would make these wheels turn. And then they needed a place for the people, so they built a box for the people. And all cars are that way. It's a box for people, it's a box for the engine, a box for the people. And then you start refining from there. Each system needed a group of engineers to engineer that part. We take the steering, wheel, and we take the suspension with the springs. And we need a fuel system. So we put a tank in the car, and we use gravity to run that fuel down to the carburetor. And we need brakes to stop it. So a bunch of engineers got together and designed a set of brakes pushed by a pedal here. And then the human comforts, we need nice, comfortable seats. We need to keep people dry. We need to keep the dust and wind off of them. And another system is the cooling system. An engine puts out heat, so you have to manage that heat. So they put a radiator in front to take that heat and expel it to the air. And we need a transmission. And the Model T didn't have one. The Model A does. It's a regular, real transmission. So you can go in low gear, medium gear, and high gear in reverse. So they had a bunch of engineers work on a transmission, and they came up with that. And they work fine. So that's what a car is. It's nothing more than that. This one was designed in 26, 27, maybe 28. And it was built for 4 years, almost 5 million cars. So it is a full-fledged car. It doesn't need any redo or anything. You just need to find the old pieces, put them together, and you have yourself a running car that can keep up with traffic and generate tons and tons of fun for you, run by a bunch of people who enjoy people, and they'll be the best friends you'll ever have. And I mentioned the fuel system. You have a tank of gas, you drill it down, it has to find its way into the carburetor, into a float ball. And this float, as it sinks in the fuel, it opens the valve here, and this valve lets more fuel in until it gets to a particular level. But the carburetor is designed for one level of fuel, and they have the float ball that does that and does a good job. Okay, this is the open-end wrench, and you can buy a beautiful set of these for less than $10 at Harbor Freight. And all of you young kids should get this for Christmas. Jim's got a quarter drive socket set. And then there are various specialty tools. And an important one is the test light. Each kid will be given one of those. Now, what I intend to do, or what I hope gets done with this, we put a little bit more to it, and then we share that with as many 11 to 18-year-old, 18-year-olds we have, and we ask them to return to someone's driveway with their own lawn chair, and we will go further into the components. I think I'm done. It's up to Oakleaf to carry this forward and see if we can spark some interest in the younger members, because when you're my age, you can't get under the car. So carry on, Oakleaf. Amen.